What's up, Tweener? Welcome back to another Tweener tennis video today. Today we have another special interview for you guys. We have professional coach Yannick Schramm. I met him on Clubhouse and we've been talking. I wanted to have him on the channel to talk about his experience when coaching his players when it comes to playing against people like Roger Federer, playing against Rafael Nadal. So we talk about his experience of what it's like to put a player into that mindset of playing the biggest guys that you could possibly play on the tour, as well as his coaching philosophies, what he does besides coaching on and off the court, his Twitch channel as well. He's a man of all trades in the tennis world, so I wanted to get his opinion and talk to him more about the coaching side of his life. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a big like and go show Yannick some love on his Instagram and Twitch channel. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you stick around a little bit longer. Hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. Completely free. You don't have to do anything, but just hit that button. Just hit that button right there down below. It's the red one. Big red one. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the video. Thanks, guys.
Let's just get straight into it. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. It's afternoon here in Germany, and I'm feeling okay. The courts are opening soon. I might get back to the court, giving some lessons soon, and
Nice.
it's been a while. So
How's
very
it
good.
been?
And how about you?
It's good. It's good. Tiring, but thankfully I'm still working. I'm still working inside. I'm still doing this. Still listening to everyone on Clubhouse, which is really good. This is how me and Yannick met. We met on the Clubhouse app, and now we're doing an interview together. So this is actually kind of cool. I actually very much enjoy this.
Yeah, it's true.
It's very fun. How have things been in Germany in terms of the pandemic and tennis, for you at least?
Very bad actually. I mean, the first pandemic was quite okay because I had a chance to work in professional sport because I'm a coach in like more the professional area, so I had a chance to practice there. Then in the summer was quite okay when it opened up a little more and more. But then as soon as the second wave came in, all was shut down. You just could practice outside, which was like only possible till I would say end of October.
Okay.
And I didn't even give lessons there because I didn't have these crazy customers that want to go out when it was like 2 degrees. So then I was already like staying home and yeah, starting my Twitch channel. That was my project was for the second lockdown. And I've not given any lessons since, as I said, like since October last year. So yeah.
How's the Twitch streaming been going? You've been doing a lot of trivia on there. You've been having a lot of guests on there to kind of do it. Talk us through your Twitch stream because it looks really interesting. If you haven't checked out his Twitch, it's very entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I had the idea already like a year ago. I came to Twitch and saw a lot of different people. Of course, it's known for gaming and for computer gaming, PlayStation gaming stuff, and even poker players or chess players just stream their content and just help people to improve their game. And there's also big section. It's called Just Chatting that is growing and growing. And I think Twitch is becoming very big in the future because I really like the format and I really like the abilities that you have and the things that you can do with the program. And I saw so many people there doing just nothing and making a lot of money with like just being there and camera on and just talking about nonsense. And I was like, what the hell? Why there's no one making like content? I mean, there were some interesting channels like a baker store that just puts a camera there so you can watch a baker in German. That's is cool. how he prepares everything, and he's answering all the questions. So it's like a we call it Praktika in Germany. And you can see like if that's kind of a job for you, then there's another guy in the States actually. He's fishing sharks. He has a camera on his boat and he's just going for shark fishing. These kind of things, and these are interesting. But there's so many that are like just like, as I said, nonsense. And then I said, why not creating a tennis channel there and doing some tennis content? Because with the program you have a lot of different tools that you can use. And and then it took me actually some month, almost like half a year, that I finally got started because getting the program and sort everything out with the green screen behind me now and everything. Wasn't that easy, but now it's done since a month now. I've been streaming for 4 weeks now, 3 times a week. Nice. And as you said, having different guests like ex-pro players, because I'm working in a pro players area. I know a lot of pro players, so I'm inviting them like ex-pros, actual pros from Instagram. A lot of people, the guy from Functional Tennis and Steph Boyage, the trick shot master, he was also there already. And every Sunday evening I have this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show with only tennis questions.
Has anyone gotten to be a billionaire yet?
No, first of all, you cannot be billionaire here in my show, because of course it's where to get the money from. I don't have that many of advertisement income, and
You won't be able to
so
pay
what I
for
do
it.
is they can win from €1 to €100 in
Oh, I love
vouchers
that.
from Tennis Warehouse and from Bidi Badu and from all the sponsors that I have.
Mhm.
So I teamed up with them, and all the sponsors, they said, "Hey, great idea! I'll support it, and definitely I'll be there."
Awesome.
So there's always a different kind of sponsor for the show, and then you can win from €1 to up to 100 in that voucher for their brand.
Oh,
And
wow.
as maybe the channel grows, maybe we're talking one day about €1,000 for the winning prize. That would be awesome.
That would be
But for
huge.
now, we have to stick with €1 to €100. And yeah, it's only tennis questions. So because that's whenever I watched the show, I was like, okay, when is the sport question or tennis question coming up? And whenever it came, it was like too easy, because of course they cannot put a hard tennis question there, or only in the really later stages. So the question was quite easy. So then I said, okay, I'll do it myself. And now it's hard to find sometimes the question, because I need to prepare another like 30 questions every Sunday, because mostly I have
Yeesh.
two people joining the show, and it can be you just have to watch the stream. You have to be
Okay.
ready in the chat, and then we do an opening quiz, and the guy who's answered the quiz the fastest is on the show and calls me on Skype or here on Zoom or wherever,
Love it.
and then we're doing a show.
No, I think that's great. And I think I agree with you. Some of the tennis questions that people get on big trivia shows, it's like, what American female tennis player has won over 20 Grand Slams? Serena Williams, Navratilova, Chrissy Everett, or Coco Gauff? No, it's Serena Williams. Let's all be real here. It's not general knowledge. It's just the only person that American sports promotes.
That's
It's
true.
tough.
Yeah, sometimes it's really
It's tough.
that way.
Well, I wanted
Yeah.
to also talk to you about, you're primarily a coach, and you've worked with a lot of top yes, it is true. And you've worked with a lot of top professionals. Your player has also hit with Roger Federer. And also has faced Rafael Nadal at the French. And I wanted to get your kind of coaching philosophy and your background on just your tennis experience. So how did you start becoming a tennis coach exactly? And how did you get
Yeah.
to this level?
Yeah, actually, that's a question that I get mostly asked when people ask me, because I'm pretty young and I've never been a professional myself. So this is like two things that doesn't fit when we're talking about like high level athletes and pro athletes. So how I started quite early to want to become a coach, because I played soccer and tennis, and then I needed to decide as usual. And then my dad said, "Hey, why not tennis? Because you can also be a coach and make a living out of that." And I always liked to work with little kids. And that's how I had the idea really early when I was like 15, 16, that say, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool idea. I really want to do that. So then I made my first license. I went to study sports in Cologne, finished my studies there, did another license, and opened a tennis school in Cologne where I managed like 3 clubs here in Cologne, made some tournaments, some like club tennis.
Yeah.
And then I got into the in the pro area, because a tennis player, I got to know a girl. She was that time 18, 19. I was 23, 24 on a tournament where I was stringing like a Tennis Europe tournament, where all the big names in Germany, around the world, they're coming together in a Tennis Europe, like under 14 big event. Even Alex Zverev, Del Potro, Steffi Graf, they were all there in the tournament. So even Ostapenko, that year that I was stringing, she was there. Just like there's some young guns coming up there, and I met her. And then the dad asked me if I could imagine traveling with her to some tournaments and joining her. I'll get a little money, and that's how it all started. And through her, I went to the academy that she was practicing in Cologne, and and then after my studies, the boss of the academy, as I was there already for 2 years with her, kind of getting to know everyone and knew everyone, a coach pulled out and left the city. And so he asked me if I could imagine working for the academy. So that's how I got in the academy. And then I'm working there for now, 13 years now, 12, 13 years I'm in the academy. And through the academy, I went on with another player that I was working most of the time that I was there. Traveled the world with the player. She was just playing like the lower tournaments, like the ITF tournament series. And through that series, I got to know like a lot of players. And I mean, even Tsitsipas was playing on the same tournament at one stage that we were, but of course he made it like somewhere where I would wish my player would also would also do, but apparently, yeah, it happened the other way. But you see these good players like running through these smaller tournaments, and that's how I got to know Yannick, this guy that we were talking before that played Rafa in Paris. And I would not say I'm his coach. I'm more like a travel coach or part-time coach.
Okay.
Because he's still staying in his hometown in Stuttgart. I know him because I grew up very close to him. He didn't know me when we met on tour the first time, but I knew him because he's just 2 years younger than me. And when I play tournaments, I saw him most of the time on the top seeded positions, and I was definitely not. So I was just started too late to be a professional myself. I just started definitely too late. And yeah, then I tried to do the coaching career, and so far I cannot say anything bad about it. Worked out like the way I wanted to, because I always wanted to be in a more professional area, because the club sport is cool sometimes, but also hard, and not as easy sometimes, but also the professional. But in general, I like it more with the more advanced, or more, how to say, enthusiastic and more passionate about getting the best out of them player.
I think that's the best thing that you can ask for, especially you're 28, 29?
No, I maybe look like 28. Thank you for the compliment. I'm 34. I turned 34.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I can accomplish what you've accomplished by then, I feel like I would have already a successful career. I mean, 34, already coaching players. They're playing at the French, and I think that was when we first started talking on Clubhouse. That was the first thing that caught my eye, is the mentality of playing against some of the top players, especially Yannick Madden, who played at Clemson, who plays on the professional tour. Someone of that caliber, how do you, kind of getting into that coaching aspect, and we talked about this a little bit, but I wanted to get it on the record, essentially, was how do you go into a match playing someone like Rafael Nadal, the king of clay, on basically his home court, and how do you exactly prepare for that?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, first of all, it was like it was the second time that he played the French Open. He went through the qualies, which was a huge achievement, making it to the main draw. He played main draw before already at the US Open, I think it was, and also one time at Wimbledon. But still was on clay a big achievement, of course, to make it to the Grand Slam. That's where the big money is made. So that's the most important for all the players, to just get in these main draws. And if you're top 100, you're already in these 4 tournaments, and then you're set for the year if you make it to all the 4 slams. So that was a great achievement. He played some good guys in the qualies, and then he got slightly lucky for the draw, because of course you see the draw, the lucky loser, and the qualifier draws already, and you see, okay, Rafa was playing a qualifier, and then he would face 2 qualifiers. So there were 3 qualifiers next to Rafa. So we were already joking before, oh no, please not the first round, Rafa. Okay, if it's the second round, then we will definitely take it. And that's how it came. We played another qualifier, Kima Kopajans, in the first round main draw, and I shared the room with him. So I was really close to all the thoughts and all the process that he went through, and how the media just went on him after winning the first round main draw, and then everyone knew he's going to play Rafa. And it's interesting. It was interesting. I mean, first of all, it was the first time that he ever played second round in the Slam, which was already amazing. Then, of course, on a huge court, we were happy. It was not on Châtrier. It was on Susan-Lonen, so it's a little smaller court, because
just a bit smaller.
A bit smaller, and that is a little bit better for the underdog, because on Châtrier, okay, there's even little percentage less chance of winning. We went into the match, or like before, of course it's Rafa, and you know you're going to face Rafa in Paris. I mean, you step on court and you know the chances that you're going to win is probably less than 1% as a qualifier, because we have to be serious about it, and we know that it's not going to happen. Maybe he's injured, or there's something else could happen that you win, but just by playing your best match, probably it's not going to happen. And especially because Yannick is not a hard hitter and big server where you say, okay, he can just serve amazingly and go to like maybe 2 or 3 tie breaks somehow. But he's like not the best server. He's more the baseline player and creating the points and building the points. And that's what Rafa, of course, likes definitely more than if someone just goes crazy full shots like Kyrgios and then, gets the points, hits the lines, and then somehow you make a break, luckily, and you win a set. So that was also a tough one. And I mean, we talked about how we should approach to the match, and our tactic was that he just is not changing his game plan. I mean, he should not start like hitting too hard and just changing to a player that he's not, and then of course that would not work. So that's definitely something you should also consider when you're playing a better guy. Don't change up your, like, just don't start playing serve and volley because you say, hey, my normal game is not enough. I need to change something, because if you change something, that game is definitely not your A game. And yeah, you just need to play the A game and try to do it the best way. So that was interesting.
Did he feel any like pressure, or did he kind of have that expectation of, okay, it's Rafa, we're at the French, I'm just going to go for it? He already won his first round of a Grand Slam, which is guaranteed, in a different perspective, more money than most people make in a year. So then then he goes and plays basically the GOAT of clay courts. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to go and have fun, or just like, okay, I'm going to still try to win?
I think both. I mean, of course, if you believe you're not going to win the match, then definitely that's not going to happen. So you have to go into the match, even if you play Roger and grass or Rafa on clay, and just, of course, you want to win the match and you try your best. It's not like having fun out there and know that you're going to lose. So that's definitely what everyone on the pro tour is thinking of. As I said, maybe he's slightly injured, and if you keep it tight, maybe you have a chance to win. You never know, so you always have to be there for the moments that you get, and maybe something weird happens. But what was very good, I mean, he played college in Clemson University, so he had already this kind of situation where a lot of people around, there's a lot of distractions, and that's what all the college people, they learn, like, to deal with distractions around the court. They just grew up like 3 years with like hard stuff going on there, and so he was never bothered about something off the court. Like, if something happens off the court, he didn't care that much. And I know a lot of players, they would like look at the stadium and they would like be going crazy about it and all the situation. But he was, of course, he was nervous, but I was not afraid that he was gonna lose, because he was just too nervous. And then he went into the match. He went a little bit unlucky. He had like some game points in the first set. He didn't convert it. He lost the first, I think, 5 games to love 5. Okay. We were like, okay, damn, that
it's gonna be that kind of day. You knew it's like, shit. This is the direction this is gonna go.
Make a game in the first set, because if you take the first love 6, maybe the second happens the same. So then he made the game to 1-5, I think. Then he lost the set 1-6, and then he like kind of got in more into the rhythm. He felt the ball, because of course he never played Rafa before, and the spin, and just like the left-handy spin is just extraordinary, and he needs to adjust to it. And then in the second set he did it very good, actually, quite better. Had also chances, but lost 6-2. And in the last set he had him like almost to win a set, because he braked him twice. he braked him twice in the fourth set. It doesn't happen that often for Rafa.
Really doesn't.
And but he lost his serve just 3 times. So it was a 4-6 in the third set, but it was a good final set, and was very it was amazing to watch, of course, in the box playing against Rafa, and all these situation was very, very nice.
It's crazy that even just winning 4 games in a set against Rafa on clay is like one of the best accomplishments I feel like a tennis player can have, especially at the French.
Absolutely. It's like absolutely. I mean, the round right after, Nishikori played him, and he won. He lost 1-1 and 2. So
he did better than Nishikori.
and many more, because to make 6 games against Rafa, it's you have to make 6 games at the French in 3 sets against him. It's not that easy, but as I said, it was a very, very nice moment for me also as a kind of tour coach and helping him out. I was there also. His other coach was there, so it was a very, very nice experience, and I'll definitely never forget that.
What's one thing that you usually try to tell your players, whether it's professional level or junior level? Is there something you tell them particularly about their game, or something that you try to teach them first before you start dissecting what they do? Do you have like a coaching philosophy that you start out with when you work with players?
That's a good question. I mean, I do have some parts in a tennis game of a player that for me are necessary, but I'm not like I cannot say you that I have the philosophy of he needs to work hard on the mental side or the physical side, or I always look at the player, and then I see, or I try to at least, I try to see what he needs the most and what he needs to improve to get to a certain level, and then I'm stepping into that. Of course, if we talk about every different topic, I will probably tell you what my philosophy is in that different topic. But if you ask me about a general philosophy, it's hard for me because I would just see the player and yeah, practice with him and see how he's playing in the match, and then I can build up my image, and then I say, okay, we need to definitely work on the tactics plan, and then my philosophy is okay, this and that, and but also regarding the player, I mean, if I tell you my philosophy is staying closer to the baseline, and I have like a guy who is spinning on clay, like he will not be successful if he's standing like on the baseline, you know. So it's very hard for me to say like to stick to one kind of philosophy.
Was there anyone that inspired your coaching style, essentially? Or did you look up to anyone that you knew, like, I could go to you for advice? Or is there someone that kind of, I like how they do this, so you're trying to incorporate their style into your own coaching?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that was because, of course, I came into the professional sport as a kind of newbie. I played decent level, national, okay, but I never played international level. And when I came to the academy, of course, the boss of the academy, Robert Orlik is his name. He built up already some players, and he was working with a lot of top 100 players in Germany. And I can see I definitely took a lot of things that he does on the court and how he does it. I implemented on my coachings, because of course it's his academy, and whenever you're in academy, you have to take the kind of philosophy at the academy. So of course I took some main things from his teaching stuff that he was doing with the little kids, also with the pro players. And of course, if he's practicing next to you, I'll always like glimpse there and see what he's doing and how he's doing it, and then of course you just use it because you see it worked for him, and that definitely should be okay, and you cannot do that much wrong if you just kind of copy it. So I would definitely say I would consider him as a mentor, and I know I can always call him and talk to him, and he's a very, very nice guy. And on the other side of the court, was very interesting through the first years when I started there. It was Mr. Nikolai Davydenko practicing on the same,
Really?
in the same hall as we did.
Wow.
He actually built the courts. There was carpet inside, and they changed it to like rebound ace. And there are 6 courts, and he changed like from court 1 to court 6. All they're slightly different in speed, because he always, when he wanted to go to tournaments, he wanted, if he has a fast hard court, he want to practice on a fast hard court, and if it's a very slow one, he of course want to adjust like a 1 week on the slower hard court. So he kind of, I mean, I would say the first 2 or 3 courts, they're similar. It's hard for me to see the difference, but you see the last 2, they're definitely, like the last one is like amazingly fast. I mean, this is like ice
for clay.
So
or hard court.
Say it again.
For
no, hard court.
Hard court
was all indoor hard court. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all indoor hard court. Oh, wow.
So, and I of course also saw him practicing there all the time. So that was also very, very nice for me to see. Okay, what is he doing? How is he practicing? And he was at that time he was number like 573 in the world, and I was giving lessons to young kids, and him hitting some like amazing backhands like for an hour without missing. And whenever I need some showing material, I just stop my training lessons and, hey, look there, it's Davydenko. Look how he does it. Like, see how his movement is. He steps always with his right foot in front if he has the time to. So why you don't? Why you try to have an open stand while hitting the backhand? Okay, you want to be a professional? Yes. Okay, then look there how he's doing it, and then just do the same.
Yes.
So and then they don't have any excuse, and then they say, okay, yeah, true. I mean, there's nothing more to argue because he's number 3 in the world, and okay, yeah, you have to be right. So that was also interesting, and also an influence, of course, in my training and practice, coaching thing. but also you have to say that the Russians, they have a different kind of
Different mentality.
teaching style mentality, and I
Oh,
didn't copy that much of that part.
No, they're very different in that sense. I think from Davydenko to Khachanov, now Rublev and Medvedev, the Russians really now have a grip on tennis, especially with Rublev and Medvedev. Who do you think is going to have a better career, Rublev or Medvedev?
I think Medvedev.
Really?
Yeah.
He'll.
You don't?
No, I do. No. I was just, for me, I hit with Rublev at Indian Wells last year, so I'm kind of a little bit biased. But the fact that Medvedev has come so close so many times, he is probably the next guy, in my opinion, besides Team and besides. I think Team is like the only one that I can think of that actually has a chance of winning a Grand Slam when it comes to anyone besides Novak, Rafa, and Roger to win a Grand Slam at least.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Zverev played very good this year, but then of course he played Djokovic and he went out in 4. So I definitely agree on that. And I think Medvedev, because he has just like his game is unbelievable. And then one day, I don't know if you were in the clubhouse room when Tsitsipas joined.
Yes, but not
the first time.
Not the first time, the second time.
Okay, because he was just saying that it's unbelievable. Because he was one day after his semifinal loss of the Australian Open.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
He went to clubhouse because he was just bored in the hotel room, nothing to do, and he was waiting for his flight to go back to Europe, to Nizza, where he's practicing. So
very nice.
At Mouratoglou Academy, and then he was just he went to clubhouse, and I have a good friend that is very good related to him. And he told Tsitsipas, hey, there's a new app, it's called Clubhouse, download it, it's very cool, you're going to love it. And he never went there. And as that day he went on Clubhouse, I was texting my friend and saying, hey, Tsitsipas is there, you finally made it. And he's like, oh, what an ass. I told him like 4 weeks ago that he should come and he would love it. And then Tsitsipas was completely crazy from Clubhouse. He was like, yeah, I love it. It's so cool. You can connect with people. And mostly, okay, he didn't want to talk about tennis, but of course, it always came back somehow to the tennis topic.
Well, when you're a tennis athlete.
Coming back to the topic, he said that the backhand from Medvedev, he said it's unbelievable. You don't know where the ball goes. When he plays any other player, you can kind of see the way they swing, the way they stand, the way the situation appears. They know, okay, percentage-wise, it's 70% coming cross-court and 30% down the line, and they can adjust it better. But he says with his backhand, it's like you can play the lottery. I mean, any position, any time, he can play down the line, he can play cross-court, short cross-court. And it's very amazing. He has even like this kind of wristy backhand. When Tsitsipas approached, he can play this short cross-court, like very easy, smooth ball, where I say, wow, like this technique looks already weird. Yeah. But like then showing me that he even can play topspin lob and a really soft-handed cross-court, it's really amazing. And that's why he said it's so hard to play against him.
I think we all saw from this past Australian Open when Medvedev had that shot where he's basically in like a C shape and his backhand goes down the line against him. Like his ability just to flick it, just from how flat he swings at that ball, it's incredible. So for him to have that ability, I think, who is it, Brad Gilbert, that calls him the octopus? I think that's literally a perfect name for him because he can reach everything, can move well. It's for a guy that for the guy that height, I feel like he's everything I feel like Zverev wishes he had.
Yeah. I mean, he has definitely like all the strokes. They look kind of weird sometimes, but they're really on point. And even Tsitsipas called him like the octopus. So yeah, he plays hard. He can play everything, and he always catches the ball. And he kind of like Djokovic, he neutralizes the balls quite well, and he knows if an opponent has a very big shot and he's under pressure, how to neutralize that ball the perfect way. And that's really something only the really best can do.
Yeah, and coming back to your coaching style and your coaching philosophy, how do you know, actually, no, that's a bad question. For me, when did you know you wanted to be a professional coach?
Actually pretty early, because as I said, when I was 16, then I went to a tennis academy myself to practice 3 times a week, and got into more in that professional area. And as soon as I studied sports in Cologne, I was even thinking of studying sports, because I was just saying, I can open my tennis school and grow my business already without studying. But then I said, no, I'm going to study 3 years, because study time, of course, you should do it if you have the chance. That's all
Yes.
what my parents also
Go to
said.
school.
And it's good, of course, if you have a study that's of course helps you in a way. And I got a lot of connections throughout that time, different people that I got to know, which I still use today. These kind of people when I need help, or when I need a kind of job somehow, if I want to, or helping other people to get a job. And then as I had the clubs, I was really happy to build up these 3 clubs. They were like, no one took care of these clubs. I tried to bring new people there, made some like tournaments, some events, and people were amazed by someone is doing something and is happening something in the club now. But yeah, it's kind of, it was not my passion of teaching the kids that are coming one time a week in a group of 4 persons and just want to have fun. Kind of, sometimes you're the clown to just like it's fun also, but then like after like 2 years, like the parents maybe come to your court and say, hey Yannick, like why is he not improving? He's playing the same way than he does like 2 years ago. And I'm saying, yeah, but what do you expect? Coming like one time a week, every second or third week you're in school holidays, you're sick, or your dog has diarrhea or some other reason, and then you want them to improve. Like, bring him into some single lessons and bring him in like 2 or 3 times, bring him to tournaments, and then we can talk about improvement.
Yeah.
But not the way that in that club, or in general, like in clubs, sometimes it works, and sometimes even the parents want the kids to go there and not the kids wanting to play tennis. And this is like the most awful thing, if you have the kids and they just like kind of, they have to go there because the parents say, hey, you have to do a 1 hour of sport and tennis is good for you. And they're just like, whatever, what can we do? Can we play games? Can we play points? Like, they come on the court and say, okay, no, I don't want to do exercise. Let's play points. And then what should you do? I mean, it's tough.
No.
So then it was always like kind of my passion. And I watched already like a lot of professional sports, and to work in that area was always a kind of dream, or a goal that I was going to.
Yeah, and I think you really nailed it on the head right there when it comes to, you want to coach properly. Well, I wouldn't say properly, but you want to coach on the higher level when you want to see the progression, when you want to see someone get better, instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, week in, week out, with the same kids. Because there is a huge difference between a casual player and a high performance player. A high performance player, and sometimes you see this in like our HP class, I would have to say, like, some give a bigger effort than others. And I think the hardest part is giving, like, do I want to try to make them better even though they're not going to listen, or do I want to stick to the people that I know I'm going to get the best out of? I think that's the hardest part as a coach, is trying to figure out that, not battle, but that difference between certain players.
Yeah, and as you said, like, these players that are not that focus on the practice, and they just they just want to have some fun on court, and just like taking tennis as a getting to know people thing, and making some sports. I just saw statistics or heard of it, that they made a poll, I don't know what it's called, where they have to cross like different poll, and then the kids were asked what is the most important in tennis, or in general in sport. It was in all different sports, and to win matches is like very, very low, and for all the parents and coaches, winning is like kind of on the top stage. But for the players, for the kids, for these kind of individuals, they say winning is, of course, it's nice, but it's not like on a top point. It's on the top. It's like doing some sports, doing activity, having the interaction with other persons, with other people, and like having fun. And then there's like on position 5, 6, 7, there's like, okay, winning matches and playing tournaments. So that's what we have to always remember, that the majority, they come for enjoying the time, enjoying the game, enjoying being with other people. and that's what I always, when we come back to my philosophy, that's definitely one big part of my philosophy, to keep the fun with the player. Always keep the fun with the player. They need to, when a kid is like 7, 8, 9 years old and their parents ask me, oh, how much do you think she needs to train to be a professional? I'm telling them, let them train how often the kid wants. And if she wants to practice like 4 times a week, of course, it's better to put it down. If the kid want to practice 7 times, of course, you have to tell her, hey, don't do it. But if they just want to practice like 1.5 days or 2 days, don't force them to play 4 days, because you ruin probably more than you will gain out of it. Because if they want to play 2 times and they're really like into it and focused, these 2 times are much better than if they have to do it 4 times every week, knowing they have to just do it because the dad says to do it. And that definitely brings down the level, even if you have more lessons, more hours per week.
I definitely agree because it's hard to, and I'll put a bow on this part of the conversation. You know exactly who's going to be better immediately once you first see them on the court, and then you know who's there just to do some physical activity. And it's not frustrating, it's just, you know that they don't want to be there. So for me, I just try to make it as fun as possible when it comes to being a tennis coach, at least for some people. And other people, you have to go the other way. You have to be a little bit tougher, and you have to push them more because that's what they want to do, versus the others that have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. And I can also tell you, like all the people out there that believe that the pro tennis players, they're just like practicing every day hard and they don't have fun. That's not true. They do their like funny times on court where they just like practice some weird stuff and just enjoying the time. And that's definitely necessary, because they have so many hours on court where they focus. And like even Roger, when I practiced with him, like he was also sometimes making some jokes on court that you will never see on an outside court. But it's just like, it's kind of his everybody's, not only like Roger, not only like, it's everyone. And that's also the job of the coach, even on the pro tour, to keep it that way, that they just sometimes enjoying and just doing a practice outside of the 10, like setting the practice up for 10 o'clock, and they believe they're playing tennis. No, we took them in the car and go to the baseball court and just hitting some baseballs and playing some backhands with a bat and trying to hit the ball and having some fun. And then enjoy the first session to just to clear your mind and do something different than just doing day by day the same and getting into that too much focus.
You got to let them live their life. You have to let them kind of just, if you're going to go pro, you have to do something else. You have to do something else to kind of clear your head. And I think before we go, I have to ask about the Roger Federer experience, because you shook the man's hand. What's it like?
I
think that's the only way I can describe it. It's like, you touched him. What happens?
I mean, whenever you see him the first time, I mean, I saw him before already on some tournaments. I was also line umpire on the ATP tour level, so I had also the chance to judge him on the court, and I can even call myself one of the only persons in the world that won a challenge against Roger, because whenever he challenges, you're definitely in trouble. But he lost. I was at the service line actually when he served, and the ball went let and was out. And I called it out, and he challenged it, and it was like slightly out. It could be slightly in, these kind of so close challenge. Yeah, and you're just hoping, looking up on the screen, and you're
just crossing your fingers that it's like, I made the right call. Please, please, please.
Exactly, because if Roger's not happy, then
then you're screwed.
That's not good. Yeah, I didn't even tell him. I should have told him in Australia when I met him, but of course he won't remember that. Because it was just like a usual challenge kind of. But anyway, I saw him before, so I also made a picture that on the tournament there. So I got to know closer to him, and was not my first ever like meeting with him in person. So, but didn't help me that much to stay more calm or to be like not as nervous, of course. And it was very interesting and exciting.
How does he hit that people? What's one thing that Roger does that people don't necessarily know about? Because I asked college player Will Blumberg about he's hit with Roger before, and he told me that he hits a heavier ball than most players, more than Novak, more than Murray. I was wondering, how does he hit compared to others?
It's hard for me to tell because I never played
You never
his
hit
ball.
with him, but what have you
I never.
observed?
Yeah, exactly. What I observed was impressive because whenever you were on the court, because I saw him playing from the stands, like
Yeah.
20, 30 meters away. But if you stand on the court and you're standing in that moment, I was standing behind the player and seeing the ball, how the ball comes to you. And even if it's just a slice, I was even impressed mostly about his slice, how the ball travels through the air and like with the quality, and always he can like place it wherever he wants to. And with a forehand was also amazing. I mean, he could just inject so much speed, and it didn't feel like I didn't have the feeling he's gonna miss that shot or he's gonna frame it. Like if any other player does it, going for that shot, and I was like, whoa, that was a good one. Okay, maybe the next one is like going somewhere, and everyone knows that this happens if you go like full power on a shot. But for him, he does it just like 10 times, and of course he misses some of these, but 9 out of 10 they are exactly at the placement where he wants to. So that was very impressive for me to see the placements and to the accuracy that he has in these shots, but also the ability of just like putting so much speed on the ball and still control it that well. So that was the impressive thing that I saw. But I saw him when he was 38, so I'm not sure how it was when he was like in his best times. And
it was probably just hit a little bit harder. I mean, that the way he hits is just amazing. So Yannick, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about your experience working with players, the pros, everything. Where can people find you? I know we talked about your Twitch channel, so I'll leave a link to your Twitch channel down below. So make sure you go follow. And if you want to subscribe to it, you can donate a little bit more money to help him continue his dream on Twitch. Where else can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, on Instagram, my name is Schrambini. Maybe some people know it already. That's my Instagram account. I just opened like a YouTube channel also called Schrambini, and a Twitter channel also called Schrambini. So it's pretty easy to find because my Twitch channel is called All About Tennis because I tried to do something more serious there than Schrambini because it's from my last name, like a nickname from my last name. And when people search like tennis, they should see the channel. That's why I called it All About Tennis. But then when I went to YouTube and to Twitter, there's so many All About Tennis. Like I would be the number count 200 whatever. So I just put this all under Schrambini, and just the Twitch channel is All About Tennis.
So Schrambini everywhere except for the Twitch channel, which is All About Tennis. Make sure to go follow everything down below. Links in the description. Thank you again for joining me, Yannick. I really appreciate it, and hope everyone stays safe. Wash your hands, wear a mask, please. We're all in this together. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Thank you.